wrong with Richard Rushfield with today? What's wrong with my good friend and colleague Christopher Rosen? We check in here uh, every week, just about to do some ranking, to do some putting setting priorities and figuring out with a particular sector of the world what is wrong with it and what belongs on top. Today we're talking about film trilogies because inspired by toys, weirdly inspired by Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 has inspired us to talk about film trilogies because it may be the fifth film in the series, but it is said by some, maybe even me, that the first three films are one of the greatest trilogies of all time. And so we're going to talk about what are the greatest film trilogies of all time, and more important, what is a film trilogy. I think we might spend most of this time just sort of debating definitions here because it's as we say we're inspired by the fifth film of a trilogy to get it. So tell me how you wrapped your mind around this question.
It's tricky, but I agree that like there is a Toy Story trilogy, and then they added 2 extra movies. Whether or not those movies are good, it's like they just kind of were a trilogy. And I guess I kind of looked at it like, because there's a couple in here, like I'm sure with you, that I have that have more than 3 movies in their history. That said, I was like, I do think there's like a 3, there's like a 3, 1, 2, 3, and then whether they bring them back. So it's kind of a judgment call, but I do think you could kind of see where it would be. So that's how I kind of did it. But it's very tricky because like for example, well, maybe we'll talk about this, but like the Before movies, if there is a fourth Before movie, there's still a
Yeah,
Before trilogy, I feel like, and then the next one is maybe the start of a new trilogy. Not that they're doing that or whatever, but just using that as that's what I was thinking of. So I don't know.
yeah. I mean, what I tried for was that it tells something like a complete story, a complete
Hmm.
self. But then if you looked at Friday the 13th 5 through 8, probably like the eighth film, I can't remember which one that is, but probably it ends with something that they present as, well, that is it. The story is over now. Uh, you will never see Jason again. He has been finally vanquished. So it's hard to even say that. And then we have some trilogies on the list that are sort of thematic trilogies,
Hmm.
on my list anyway, that aren't even about the same characters.
I have
Um,
one of those too, actually. Yes, this is great. I can't wait to see what ours are. I can't wait to see this
so
list.
anyway, I say for purposes of definition, you can pick any three consecutive films of some version of a series, and to see who gets who. So if a series had straight A, all three installments had A's, it would have a 4.0 average over three films. And
Hmm.
I start with that. There are very very few three film consecutive runs that you can say do that. Few to almost none here. Um, so let's just get into it and see how many we come up with. See how many did I pick? I have a list of my top 8 trilogies. So I didn't even I so maybe we'll winnow that down, or we'll probably overlap some. But
I'm
but
sure
let's
we'll overlap. Yeah, I had like 5. I had 6, but it was hard for me to cut down. So like I think like I said, we'll probably have overlap. So I think
yeah,
that's fine.
that will help. So give me the first on yours there. And
And I'm not doing any order. I didn't do it in like ranking. Did you rank yours
yeah,
like
no, I
fully
did
or no?
I did not at all.
I just threw them all out. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start with one that I don't think is the top one, but it's kind of what you're talking about before, and I don't care. I'm just going to go with it. The New Jersey trilogy from Kevin Smith, which counts as Clerks, Mallrats, and Chasing Amy. I think those
Interesting.
3 together are a fantastic group of movies that, while even now, I still think they're actually pretty good. Kevin Smith's like kind of hacky filmmaking aside, I think they
Yeah.
all tell a unified story of that era and that part of the world, and there are interconnections in those movies in terms of characters and like characters who are related to other characters. And I don't know, I just always loved. I was like very into those movies when I was in high school, certainly, and younger. And now I find them almost a little poignant when I go to revisit them, where it's like that nostalgia case. I just think they're all really great, and they're all very different kind of movies. You have obviously Clerks, like this seminal, like kind of, indie Sundance, breakout thing with black and white. Mallrats is like a real studio upgrade of that. That's kind of like really a dumb studio comedy that's also like pretty fun and like I think an interesting twist on Clerks. And then Chasing Amy, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna do my version of humor with like a more serious, like try to grow up a little bit adult style drama. And I'm not saying like the politics of these movies hold up, certainly, and Kevin Smith has talked about Chasing Amy, but I don't think they're as outdated as people maybe assume on first glance, and they're all so many great people in them. I don't know, so those are my three. That was one of the trilogies. I was like, I'm gonna go swing a little far afield and start with that one.
I would say respectable attempt. Kevin Smith is not my personal cup of tea. I would say in that trilogy, Mallrats is probably the weak link there, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Do you think those are straight A's? All three films are.
I actually I'm gonna say straight B plus. And I feel like they're very, even Mallrats. As I've gotten older, I actually watch Mallrats more than Clerks and Chasing Amy. I think it's like actually really funny because it has this incredible Jason Lee performance. My thing on Jason Lee is that Ryan Reynolds should be sending him a monthly check, because Ryan Reynolds' whole shtick is Jason Lee from these movies. So I'm like,
I never thought about that, but I think you're right there. Yeah.
And God bless Ryan Reynolds, and a very fun career for him. But so they're straight A's for me, I guess.
Interesting. All right. Here's another question. Is it possible that a trilogy can be greater than the sum of its parts? That you have 3 B pluses, but as a trilogy, it's an A?
I think maybe. I think that would be these. Maybe.
Interesting. By the way, if you're listening in on the live chat here, please feel free in the comments to hit us with your own favorite trilogies, or give your opinions about our opinions and our choices, and let us know where we're out to lunch here. Okay, I'm gonna go for the next one. I am gonna go with the so horror is kind of the thing that sort of defies trilogies, because like every film ends with the big climax, and they go on. Once you have a horror series, they go on and on forever. And like when I was looking at this, I went to Wikipedia and looked at all their 3 film series, and there are a bunch of series that you knew and love on their first one, but just kind of keep going and have this afterlife, and are now like they're still churning out Lost Boys movies. Did you know? It's like that live on there. But so that was a surprise. But so horror is hard, but I'm going to start with a horror one because I think it deserves the George Romero Living Dead one, with Living Dead, with Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Dead, and Dawn of the Dead. I think are 3 terrific series, and they, when that first one or the third one, so much time has passed between the first one, but it really feels like there's something emotional about the zombies are back now, and they're coming to the mall where they belong, and it's a terrifying series, and it has a cohesive and emotional center to it. So I would give each of those films an A, and say that's I don't know, maybe a 3.8 GPA for that, 3.7.
I think that works. And like you said, maybe the sum of the parts is, or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. So that works.
Yeah, I don't think if you watch it, you feel like you watched the same film 3 times, which is a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Like that there's a lot of like action series where you can pick three great films in there, but it would be sort of like, I we might get to this, but like there's some big series that I love them individually, but I can tell you what happened in which movie and where like in every movie it's like the hero is chasing after
Mhm.
more bad guys. Anyway, okay, that's my next pick. Let's hear your next one.
I guess I'll do. I mentioned it before, but I'll do the before movies, which I feel like you were gonna maybe have
That
on
that
yours
that
too.
that is on my list also. So
Okay.
we can share.
Let's just talk about that. I mean, just a fantastic trio of movies. All of them different in different ways, obviously, and like the conceit of it being, time moving. I love the way Linklater movies play with time. Like I'm still a boy. I don't know about you, but I still am a Boyhood fan. I think that movie is really good, and like the way it's like that approach. So these movies I always really loved. I think they're all totally different, and I think it's especially as you age, and you probably see this too. Like you are affected by them in different ways. So now I would say probably the last one is my favorite, but like maybe 10 years ago, I would have said no way. Like it wouldn't have been, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I do
That's
find that really interesting.
that's very true. I haven't rewatched the first one again, but if I saw them, if I saw the first one now, I'd probably say, "Oh, get a life, go catch your train. You guys need some rest here." um, but the but the second and third, I think I feel like, but those are straight A's. Certainly, that's a 4.0 series.
I actually think I'm like, is that the best? That might be the best. Like in terms of straight A's, I don't. I think all of those are like A movies, and this is the closest maybe we have to Toy Story. Because even on the list that I'll have here, like we're saying, like it's going to average out maybe really well, but not all of the movies are straight A's because it's tough. But like those three are really straight A's. I mean, it is just like unimpeachably great movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. And again, every installment is different and has a purpose of its own. And that thing you say about the actors aging and playing their ages, and how a relationship would evolve given that is very powerful. So I agree with that. Okay, next one I will come up with is let's see, which one do I want to go with? Okay, let's you're going arty, so I will say, how about the Christoph the Three Colors series
okay.
by uh, but also United by both contain Julie Delpy, and however, how do you pronounce his name? Christoph Krzyzewski.
I would say Krislowski, but I'm really bad at names also. So I'm gonna look it up. Let's see.
So
You
yeah,
talk speak eloquently about it while I look it up.
well,
Klizowski, I guess. Yeah.
I would say about this one, they're not straight A's. That I think White, the middle one containing Julie Delpy, who joined us with in the before trilogy, that is probably a B for me. But the strength of the whole series is so strong, and the movies are again a movie about a trilogy about three different characters, but it is called a trilogy. It is three colors: blue, white, and red. And blue and red are A+ movies for me. So they maybe drag the GPA
Hmm.
up, and it's just such a powerful series about kind of the nature of modernity, and I put that up there for me.
Do you wish we had more art house or like trilogies like this and like before? Like, don't you think we're missing that now? I don't feel like I want to see more of these kind of things where you have a director kind of like doing like three different things. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that would be fun to pick
I
like
mean,
one of
that's
these great directors and doing it.
I would like to see more. I mean, I just know from the indie and art house world, it's hard enough to get one movie made.
Yes.
Like to get three movies made is it is not Richard Linklater had some. I mean, I don't think when he made the first one, he sold it as a trilogy. That's
No.
how you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to let 10 years pass between them, and let hopefully the first film has become a cult favorite, and then come back to it. It's uh, you know, if you look at like Train Spotting and Train Spotting 2, which I think is really good, I could see a Train Spotting 3 completing out that trilogy there, and in about five years or so, and that being I will project a very solid trilogy there.
That would be awesome. I would absolutely be here for that. That would be so.
Did you like Train
So
Spotting
good.
2?
I did. I did think
Yeah.
it was really good. Danny Boyle. I'm always like, oh, I don't know if I like Danny Boyle, and then like I think of like a lot of his movies, and I'm like, oh, actually, he is pretty formidable as a filmmaker. He is
Yeah.
a solid filmmaker.
And for me, Train Spotting is his best movie. But
oh, sure, yeah. I obviously. All right, so we did a couple art house ones. I guess I'll do. I'm next. I guess I'll do a mainstream one. I don't know.
yes,
Might
but
as well.
get us out of the art
Get us
gutter
out of the
here.
art house. Go screw, I guess. But I'll do. Okay, so to what you were saying, like the 2 A pluses and then like a middle movie that's not as strong, but like brings it up. I'm gonna do the Die Hard trilogy, the original 3 Die Hard movies. I think Die Hard 1 is an unimpeachable classic, the best. And I think Die Hard 3, when they shifted to New York City, is one of the great New York movies. It's a great New York summer movie. It's so much fun. Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson are fantastic together. Even the last like 20 minutes are kind of like a little fugazi, but it's still really good. And then you have Die Hard 2 in the middle, which is like derided as like kind of trash. And it's like how could the same thing happen to the same guy twice? But there is a real charm, I think, to the Rennie Harlan over the top action scenes in that movie. And like it's a very solid like B plus for me. Dennis Franz is great in it. He's such a jerk, and like Bruce is so much fun. But the first two are first and the third are so good that I really think it like really lifts it up. And I do think it tells like a real story about John McClane a little bit, like in terms of like his character development and growth. And by the third one, the idea that he is like the washed up John McClane, like kind of trying to make it back to some level of respectability in New York. I don't know. I just think they're all really great. I love that they brought McTiernan back for the third one. And so, yeah, those I'm going to pick that trilogy as like a blockbuster. And that's a series, obviously, that has extended beyond. I think there's actually 5 of these movies that are the other 2 are just horrible. The 4th and the 5th ones, I don't even remember what they're called. I think they have like.
I never even saw the
horrible.
the
I think they added like Sam Worthington in one of them. I don't remember. This is when Sam whatever. So I'm gonna say I'll go the Die Hard the original Die Hard trilogy. I think is great.
Yeah, I reservations about number 2, of course, but the first is a perfect action film, kind of a flawless a piece of filmmaking there. The third is the third is great, and it does. John McClane does have an arc and a story that it doesn't feel like, but the third one doesn't feel like you're just doing one. So complicated score there, but I think you're right there. Let's see. So I will go next with the what might be sort of a tie with what I think is the most perfect trilogy. The Sergio Leone Clint Eastwood Fistful of Dollars, Yours for a Few Dollars More, and The Good, Bad, the Ugly. I think is that is a is as powerful. I mean, those films were such so hard hitting and powerful at the time they came out, and so important. And every kind of shoot 'em up movie, and those films kind of ended the Western genre as like you could not make a straight. Just a straight Western, unironic, unhistorical Western after those films again, and introduced Clint's character, the man with no name, which was such a iconic stuff. I wish there could be someone give me electric shock when I use the word iconic. Can we ban the word iconic from this conversation here? It's like a placeholder word for something actually has meaning. But he great character, great, perfect films. I think that's hard to beat.
And to your point about like the genre thing, I do feel like it it like completely shifted the genre. I don't think any of the ones we've talked about necessarily. Maybe the Romero movies, I guess you could say this too. But like this really like affected the genre in such a way that I think now even when you do a Western, you're indebted to these three. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're still seeing that, and certainly in action filmmaking too. I think you're seeing it. So these are like foundational movies, I guess, and they're all awesome. And like, yes, this is a good pick. So
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, there's Westerns before and after that, and
Yes.
and there's no mistaking them. So
no.
Sure. All right, what's next for you then?
Well, again, it's tricky, like you said, because I'm gonna have to make a case for a. But I kind of made this case last week, so I'll just do it again. Indiana Jones. I think the first three are great, and I said this last week when we were doing Spielberg, and I was like, I'll pick Temple of Doom because I just love Temple of Doom, and like I know we talked about like Kate Capshaw and her shrill performance and blah blah blah, but I do think they're all. I love those three movies. I think they're an interesting trilogy. I think sort of like Die Hard, Last Crusade, I think is like cited as a return to form. Obviously, Harrison Ford and Sean Connery are so much fun. And Raiders is Raiders, which is like why even talk about it anymore. It's so great. But I do think the three of them together are really fun, and they don't necessarily tell a really different story about Indiana Jones, but I do think they're a little bit different. And I think by the time you get to the third one, which is really great, I think you end up with like a great story of Indiana Jones and like how he became Indiana Jones, I guess. So in my mind, it's like Raiders is like an A plus. Temple of Doom is probably like an A, and like Last Crusade is like a B plus, and together that's like an A. So, maybe that works. So I'll go with Indiana Jones. I think those are great, and we don't have to. We can pretend the other two don't exist.
Yeah, I'm not going to I'm not going to accept them onto the combined list. I'm afraid.
No.
It's Raiders is of course flawless is in the pantheon, but I think number two is in my book is interesting but not great for because of some great flaws, and I think number three has great stuff in it, has Sean Connery, but I feel like is too much just an imitation of the first one and too much trying to just redo the first one and not an original enough film. So
okay.
And I heard an interview with Spielberg talking about how the third one he really wanted to make one about Indy's relationship with his father, which is a big Spielberg theme. I just have to say, between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, I don't feel it and I don't buy it. So
okay,
that would be where I stand. All right, sorry to disallow. My next one. So this is a trilogy. This is a trilogy I saw just a. Oh, Chris, did we lose you here?
No, I'm back.
Your screen's gone dark though. Oh, there you are.
Now it's back.
There you are. So this is a trilogy I saw just a week ago, so it's fresh in my mind. But and it is very much sort of the lead. There is no arc here. There is no even consecutive anything. Even if there's no arc even within the course of a movie. There's an arc, but you talk about comedy films are kind of like horror. Like once you establish a comedy franchise, they're going to ring the hell. They're probably still making American Pie movies out there somewhere in the world. But the first three Jackass films are pretty damn perfect. And I just went to a marathon. I saw three, and honestly, I could have sat there laughing at 10 more. I mean, there are not a lot of dead points or slow moments in any of those first three movies. They manage to keep raising the stakes and keep making it these are films that are just like expressions of like pure just sort of mayhem and pure like unpretentious comedy, and to pull that off over the course of three films and maintain that level. It is not a traditional trilogy in which a character goes on a hero's journey and overcomes his flaws and and goes into the shadow realm and all that. But I think they're pretty great and flawless, and I look forward to number 7, I believe.
I think that's right. Yeah. You have you gotten to see that one yet? No.
Not yet this week.
Not yet.
So Jackass 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, Jackass the movie, Jackass number 2, and Jackass 3D. Stand up high for me.
Fantastic picks. I'm gonna go another one that I'm sure you're gonna roll your eyes at and not agree with, but I'm a Godfather 3 defender, and so I'm gonna put the Godfather trilogy in there because obviously the first 2 are fantastic. I've really come around on 3, and I think this is a little bit cheating because I think it's like the Coppola restoration of it, the one that he released a few years ago, I thought really locked it in for me. I'm not going to say it's like an A+, but I think he got 2 A+, and we've talked about this before. Godfather better than Godfather 2, despite what conventional wisdom would have you believe that 2 is better than 1. But you have 2 A+, and then like I think I could get it to a B+ on Godfather 3 with the Coppola restoration, and then put it together. It kind of works. You definitely get the arc of Michael. I found the Godfather 3 when you watch the recut that he did, it's incredibly tragic. I think it really does land the tragedy of the story of Michael, and like it's really, even though Sofia Coppola is like not an actor and like clearly not up to snuff in the movie, I think her death really does land because of how just tragic it is, and like Michael trying to do all this shit to like make his life, to paper over all the mistakes he's made and all the terrible things he's done, and in the end he's still like, he's still taken down, right? You know what I mean? Like, and he still has to pay some kind of penance for what he's done. And he like, it's like pretty really truly an American like tragedy. And I think like they just work, and the third one does work. So and obviously 1 and 2 are fantastic. So I'm gonna go with that. And there's caveats abounded in there, but I do think like I'll stick to those 3. Like I would still watch all 3 if I had to in a single sitting. So
I mean, it's I need to watch the new cut.
It's pretty good, Richard.
I mean, he kind of with all his shenanigans with Apocalypse Now, he kind of like ruined my ability to give him a chance with his new cuts, and kind of made me feel like all the movies need to be taken out of his hands. If you've seen what he did to Apocalypse Now, I mean that.
It's not great. No, none of this is great. But I'm telling you, I think the third one does work. So
I will give it another chance. I mean, for me, this is kind of the definition of why trilogy. It's so hard to land a great trilogy, because you always have this and the other big film of the other big trilogy that started around a similar time. That you almost always the third, it's the second or the third, the second doesn't come together, or the third just goes is a pale imitation. And I don't know, the central flaw of Sofia Coppola is really hard to get past. It's and we're gonna tonight we settle all our scores thing. By the time they're doing it in the third one, it's like, okay, that's so I will. Sadly, I agree with you that the sense that 2 is better than 1 is nonsense. One is one is top 5 all-time American films, and 2 is top 100. So but top 100 is pretty good. So okay, we're coming down to the wire here on these things. So my next one, I am going to go with the Lindsay Anderson. We're going back to Art House again. Okay. The Lindsay Anderson Mick Tavis series of If, Oh Lucky Man, and Britannia Hospital, which are again sort of thematically connected, although you'd be hard pressed to say what the theme is, other than kind of the unraveling of England from the 50s through to the 70s. or I guess it was the 80s by the time they made
Mm-hmm.
Britannia Hospital. I mean, it's such kind of propulsive, exciting filmmaking for me. What the second one is kind of a musical. The third one is kind of a screwball comedy. The first one is this is kind of this schoolboy fantasy, but they all really come together of a piece for me, and within this one boy coming of age, and growing up in a world that's kind of unraveling, and that was kind of this huge imposing thing, but is crumbling by the time he reaches maturity. So
This is a great one, and then I'll yes and you, because this is the one this is my last one, was going to be Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy.
oh,
To
you
go
know what,
back to London or England,
that
and
wasn't
do
on the
this.
Wikipedia page. I endorse that trilogy.
So they're like kind of again lightly connected, but you have Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, and I think
Yeah.
those three are really great, and they're all different movies. They're kind of all telling a thematic thing, kind of connected through that, very lightly connected, and the same creative is kind of doing it. And yeah, I think it's a really, when you look at like Shaun of the Dead and then go to like World's End, it's Simon Pegg characters in those and like kind of the evolution of those characters. Yeah, they're just great. I've always loved Edgar Wright. That's why I was so
Yeah.
truly heartbroken about how much I did not like Running Man, but I'll give him another shot.
It,
But,
it, I
but
mean,
these are
you
great.
come into a big studio movie, and there's a
It's
lot
tough.
of lot of
A
forces
lot of
at
lot
work.
of cooks probably, but these are great. I love these, and I love all three of these. Anytime you ask me, I'll probably pick a different favorite one. But like I guess I probably would probably go to Shaun of the Dead, but I don't know. Any of these could be a favorite, and I think they're all like A's
So
or B pluses. So
World's End is about the journey of Gen X, which is the most
Mhm.
important topic for films to deal with.
Yes.
And so that's a film that means a lot to me, and
Yes.
that's definitely my favorite three. Yeah, I love all three of those movies.
Man, they're
I
great.
I would have put that on my list, but somehow Wikipedia
I beat
didn't have
Wikipedia,
that
Richard.
on the.
You beat Wikipedia.
Okay, I'm gonna speak to the wiki folks about this, because
Okay.
that should have been
Get on the phone with Big Wiki and tell them they gotta snap into shape.
Okay, I'm gonna close out my
Do
list
it, please.
with the big one that inspired this. The first three Toy Story movies
Right.
are the perfect trilogy. They're straight A pluses, so 4.3 GPA, and beautiful films. And Toy Story 5 is as good as they are. So go.
I'm gonna see it later. I'm gonna see it later today, so I'm excited to see it. I've not seen it yet, but the other three are great.
Yeah,
So
it's a terrific series. For my mind, that is the only American studio trilogy that gets straight A's. And I had a good list of kind of just of the ones that just miss.
yeah, what do you got? Let me
Here
hear.
I got, well, Terminator. The first
Mhm.
two are unimpeachable. The third is interesting. It's not a bad film, but I don't know if I would give it an A also. So the David Fincher.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's
no, I'm
Alien.
sorry. I was thinking. I was talking about Alien. Why did I say Terminator?
Terminator 3 is also not terrible, but obviously I think Alien also. I agree with you. I think the
Yeah,
Fincher one is good in its own way, but not as good as obviously the first
yeah.
two.
So that's one that just missed. The Tobey Maguire, Sam
Yes.
Raimi Spider-Man
Mhm.
series is almost the perfect superhero and put the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight in that category too. Like
Mhm.
almost the perfect superhero trilogy. That the number three just misses there. So so that's a problem I have. Of course, we get to the big one. The Star Wars
Yes.
is number three is like a C plus or something. So Return of the Jedi. So not it doesn't even come. The first two films are get very very good grades. The
Mhm.
third one sucks. And oh, and Whit Stillman's Doom, Bourgeois, and Love series of Metropolitan, Last Days of Disco, and Metropolitan Barcelona and Last Days of Disco
Oh,
comes
good. That's good.
really close for me.
Yeah.
Last Days of Disco is for me just is probably a B+ movie.
Mhm.
And the other two are so it doesn't quite make it, but that could have easily been on my full list there. You look at the first. I mean, well, this is a category question, but the first three Bonds are straight A's. Also, I mean, the Doctor No, maybe you look back on, and just because it's so nascent and they hadn't figured a lot of things out, you kind of you're it's kind of annoying that they hadn't like figured out how to do a Bond movie in a lot of ways. Like, where's the credit sequence? Where's all the stuff you expect? But it's a great movie on its own terms, especially if you saw it at the time. And then you have From Russia with Love and Goldfinger, which are
Mhm.
A+s both.
Mhm.
Um, so that comes very close to me. The Mexico trilogy.
I thought of that one too. Unfortunately, I think Desperado is definitely the best of those to me, the middle one, and then Mariachi is really good and interesting, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico is a little off to me. So
Yeah. And then we have to, if you search for lists of the best trilogies of all time, um, they everyone is topped by one trilogy, which is completely wrong. Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is like B+, B-, C+ for me.
wow,
So
I'm not as low in that as you are, but I don't disagree. I'm not the biggest. I just can't get into that kind of level of fantasy, Richard. I never was into Game of Thrones, that kind of shit, to Lord of the Rings. I'm just like, I'll stick with Star Wars. That's my nerd thing. But
I
like
mean,
this stuff, I just don't get.
it's like I saw 10 hours of that movie. I can't tell you a single thing that happened in any of those films, other than you get to a lot of walking around and staring intensely
Mhm.
at each other about, are you going to join this mission and what to throw the ring in the volcano or whatever. And that you know give me the 90-minute version of that trilogy, and maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I'm not the. Don't even. That's not one of my faves, so I'm out on that as well.
Yeah.
I was
Any
looking like, yeah, well, again, like a lot of what you were saying, finding like, oh, like I was looking at the Daniel Craig to go to Bond,
Yeah.
like the Daniel Craig Bonds, Casino Royale and Skyfall are fantastic to me, and then in the middle you've got Quantum of Solace, which I think is pretty rough, even as a contrarian. And I'm like, that trilogy really does play as a trilogy, but it doesn't work because the middle one sucks. So I was like out on that. Scream, I'm a big Scream fan sometimes, so like a lot of those, but it's hard to put together three of those in a row. I guess similar to like you were saying, like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Like it's like it's so sporadic and there's so many of them, you can't really find a trilogy in there that works.
Yeah.
So none of those really worked. Halloween also I think would have been like probably this, like obviously, but it doesn't work. So yeah, like those are, it's tough. It's tough. And
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Star Wars I can't do, unfortunately.
John Wick 1 through 3.
Eh, is it? I think 3 is not that great
No,
personally.
really, I can't. That's the thing. I can't. When I
3,
was trying to think of it, I can't remember which is which and what
I
happens
know.
in which one. So I mean, I think that's they have to be three self-contained movies
Right.
that have their own life.
Mhm.
And John Wick is kind of just like a freight train all the way through.
Mhm.
And
And yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
like Mission Impossible is kind of the same
Sure.
thing. Like I'm sure there are great movies. Like, I could not tell you for the life of me what happens in any one, which one. That I mean, that was the thing that was so frustrating about the last one, because it was all these references to the series, and I was like, I've seen this whole series. I don't remember anything you're talking about.
Pretty tough. Pretty tough. Yeah.
All right. Anything else we need to acknowledge before we?
I think we got it. I mean, so Toy Story, I think, is the choice. Then that's the
Yeah.
best. That's got to be the best.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
yeah, the best Hollywood studio trilogy, I will
Yes.
say. There,
Yes.
and will we give the before trilogy the best indie trilogy?
I think yes, but I guess we'll see.
And maybe the Leone Eastwood's the best action trilogy.
Yes.
Okay.
There we
All
go.
right.
We did it. We solved it.
Nicely done. Congratulations, Trilogies. Thank you, everyone, for competing. I'm here on most weekdays at this time with another episode of What's Wrong, looking at what's wrong with everything in the world, what's wrong with me, what's wrong with you, and come back next week. We got some exciting guests ahead. Take care.